Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and this is Success Mentorship Class number 348. Wow. We've been doing this for quite some time, and one of the joys of doing it is just seeing so many new people popping up from all over the planet. We have folks from different countries, different states, and it's all a blessing because we enjoy this journey together. Our topic for today is nothing is impossible. And we picked that topic because over these next we have less than 70 days to the end of the year. And over these next 70 days, we will surely encounter challenges, disappointments, failures. I mean, all kinds of things that are geared to keep you from being, doing, and having the things you desire. And the purpose of the talk today is to say that nothing is impossible. Absolutely nothing is impossible. That you already have everything you need to get anything you want. A lot of our teaching is based on our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. And I invite you to visit our website, herbertharris.com. Click on any of the great tabs there, but also be sure to book a success consultation to help you and I get together, and maybe we can help you get through some of the challenges you face. Before we get going, though, let us do our meditation to get us in the proper space, the proper place for this message. Sit straight up in your seats. Put your feet flat upon the floor. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out slowly. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out slowly. And in the space of peace and relaxation, I am at peace with myself. Let us affirm that together. I am at peace with myself. And just let that peace sink in. Once more. I am at peace with myself. And in this state of peace and relaxation, our minds are open, receptive, and ready to learn. Let us affirm that together. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And so it is. This day, I like to begin with a quote from Mary McLeod Bethune. She was the founder of Bethune-Cookman College down in Florida, and I had the opportunity to go there as a child. My mother was a great follower of Mary McLeod Bethune, and this is a lady that created a university literally out of nothing when people said it was impossible. And she said this: without faith, nothing is possible. With it, nothing is impossible. Without faith, nothing is possible, but with it, nothing is impossible. Noel, one of our listeners today, and by the way, those of you on Instagram or on Facebook, we have an incredible group here on our mastermind group where we, on Zoom, where we get together and we have great discussions after this conversation. So you'll learn more about that. But Noah, one of our super achievers, used to say, the word impossible means I'm possible. I'm possible. And so when we look at the journey over these next days as we close out this month, and in fact, as we go through the rest of our lives, the message of today is that when stuff happens, when you face challenges, when you face disappointments, when you face failures, it's okay. That's all right. That's a part of the growth process because you already have everything you need to get anything you want. You already have everything you need to be anything you want to be. You have the power within you to overcome any obstacle, any disappointment, any challenge, any failure, any defeat. That's powerful. Because now this says, as we go into this year, as we move into this space, that whatever comes into our lives, whatever challenges we have, we can overcome. There's a powerful spiritual foundation, and this is not religion, it's spiritual. Spiritual principles in the universe which guide the foundation of all religions. In the book of Matthew, the 19th chapter, and the 26th verse, it says, with God, all things are possible. With God, all things are possible. So, whatever challenge you face, then there's always a way to overcome it. And someone says, well, how is that? There's always a way to overcome it because it is your birthright to be happy, to be successful, to experience abundance. We were not created to experience lack, limitation, and suffering. You know, one of the great principles, and, I'll refer to the Bible from time to time, but in all of the books that are the foundation of all of the religions, there are certain principles that go throughout. And I like to think back on the principle of the prodigal son. And when we look at that, the prodigal son, you know the story, got his inheritance, went out into the world and wasted everything and ended up working for somebody else feeding their pigs. But then when he looked at his condition, his situation, there's a passage that says, and he came to himself. And that means that he realized who he was, that it was his birthright. He goes on to say, in my father's house there's food enough and more. And so this idea that nothing is impossible says that because you were created, because the Creator gave you the gift of time and breath, you are entitled to greatness. You're entitled to good things. And that if these good things are not occurring in your life, you have a process to make it happen. In the prodigal son, it says, once he realized who he was, he then says, I will arise and go to my father. I will arise and go to my source. And so, what we're saying in the idea of nothing is impossible is that there is a source, a power, a connection from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind to the superconscious mind or the God mind, the mind in which all things exist for all time. That when you can go and connect to that, you have the power to do the impossible. So today I want to talk about the four pillars of this concept that nothing is impossible. The first pillar is hope. There's an Arabian proverb, and it says that he who has health has hope. He who has hope has everything. This is a profound message to each and every one of us, folks, because it says, number one, we have to take care of our body. Our body is the temple into which our consciousness is entrusted. And so if we don't take care of our bodies to give ourselves optimum health, then it will always be problematic. So this idea that hope is that consciousness, that awareness that there's always something better. When we go back to that prodigal son thing, I don't think all the symbolism, when you're at the bottom of the bottom, when you're actually below the pigs, waiting and hoping that the pigs leave something for you, that still you have a birthright. Still, you are who you are. And the fact that you're alive means that you have the capacity to change and to accomplish anything. Hope is the foundation now that you cling to no matter what your circumstances, no matter what your situation. The second principle of nothing is impossible is vision. Mary McLeod Bethune had a vision of a college for women initially, women of color, at a time when many states had not even considered educating people of color. And her vision was so big, she even attracted the assistance of Eleanor Roosevelt, the wife of the president at the time. And so your vision is so clear now that the principle says, where there is no vision, the people perish. So if you have no vision of what you want to be, do, and have, you literally will never achieve anything other than what the world wants for you. We're all boats on the river of time that flows into the sea of eternity. And as boats on this river, there are two choices. We can direct our path. We can literally direct our path through our values, through our level of desire, through the people we have around us, through our attitude toward life. Direct our path to where we want to go, or let the river take us wherever it wants us to go. And so this thought of the vision says this, as you go through these next days, as you close out this year, as you live your life from this point on, that you have the ability to see beyond your circumstances. Don't let whatever's going on in your life define your reality and define you. And I know that those listening on Instagram, on Facebook, on our Zoom, I know that many of us are going through stuff. I mean, stuff down to our very core. But this idea that nothing is impossible says that if you have a vision of the way you want your life to be, this vision alone is the blueprint for your success. Is the blueprint to transform you from where you are to wherever you want to be. When we go into the Habakkuk, there's and every success book tells you, write the vision. And it goes on to say, write the vision, make it plain upon tablets, that he may run that readeth it. That if you can see the way you want to be, and you see, nothing can stop your imagination. Nothing can stop you from seeing in your mind's eye. You can be in the prison of prisons. You can be in the pig pen of pig pens. But yet, you have the consciousness and awareness to see what your life could be. You know, and someone once said that you may imprison my body, but you can never imprison my mind unless I let you. And so this vision now of where you want your life to be, what you want your life to be like, is critical, because it is from your vision that you can then develop goals. It is from your goals that you can then develop plans. It is from your plans that you can then execute them to manifest your vision. So when we say that nothing is impossible, your vision, your consciousness has the capacity to see beyond all that is to whatever you want to be. You see, one of the great things about living is that we have the constant ability to expand our vision through reading, through study, through exposure, through travel. There's a proverb that says that the man who has never left home thinks his mother's the best cook. And so, whatever your situation now, you can work out it by studying, by working, by developing your skills. In other words, you have the power to transform your life from whatever it is right this moment based on how you want it to be. If you have no vision, though, you will never achieve your purpose, the reason for your living. The third key is faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So let's put this together. The hope says there's something better for you, no matter what your circumstances. The vision says this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to have. This is the life I desire for me and my family. Faith is now that conviction, that belief that you can get it done. I like that phrase. It says the substance of things hoped for. You see the combination? So you have to hope for something. You have to have an objective and the evidence of things not seen. So even though you don't see any manifestation of the greatness you're going to experience in your life, it's already there, and it's always there. The key is that alignment with your source, to recognize always that you are the created product of an incredible God, an incredible creator, created for a good purpose, to do good things, to experience abundance and joy. You know, it is faith that made Thomas Edison keep on experimenting. Faith in his attitude. You know, many people, it is said that Edison tried over 3,000 times to find the filament to make the light bulb work. But one thing, he never quit until he found it. And faith is what keeps you going. I like to think back when I was a young man, the 4-minute mile was an illusion. And it's interesting how people will define and support what they say is impossible. You know, there was a time in which they said it was impossible for a man, a human being, to run a 4-minute mile. And, you know, some of the prognosticators said, oh, the body is not fixed for that. The knees, the bones, the muscles, it cannot happen. All these excuses and reasons that it couldn't happen. But yet it did. Someone once said, it's always impossible until you do it. And I guarantee you that right now, in your lives, in our lives, because we're all in a boat, we're all on the river of time. We may be on one big boat, we're in different sections of it. Okay. But we're all on the river of time, and it is our faith. The Master Jesus said, your faith has made you whole. Even with illness, even with physical challenges, we said, he who has hope, who has health has hope, that even your faith can help you, can make you whole. There's a great passage that says, physician, heal thyself. So faith is that tool that keeps you going when there's no evidence that what you're seeking will manifest. And then finally, the fourth key is action. There's a great spiritual principle and says faith without works is dead. And so the rest of this year, the rest of our lives, we must be committed to do whatever it takes, for as long as it takes, to realize the vision that we have. It all begins in vision. Ecclesiastes says, whatsoever your hand findeth to do it with all your might. From this moment forth, understanding that you have the capacity, the power to change your life from whatever it is, to overcome whatever is going on in your life. If it's negative thinking, you have the power to change your thoughts through affirmation and expansion and reading and seeing greater possibilities. You have the power to change your emotions. You know, many of us have been damaged and hurt in our young years, in our early years, and carry such deep emotional scars. But we have the possibility to let them go. We have the ability to see our lives beyond the scars and say, what would my life look like if I had not had that experience? What would my life look like if I had not gone through these situations, these changes, these experiences? Through action, you can create good habits that move you along to where you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to have. See, action is confirmation of belief, and faith is what keeps you going. I'm going to say that again. Action is confirmation of belief, and faith is what keeps you going. So now let's put it all together here. We are very, very accustomed to nothing is impossible, you know, in the you might say the medical realm and the scientific realm. You know, there are always breakthroughs. We went through the pandemic, and there was a time and there was no vaccine or anything to prevent the spread of the pandemic. Then there was. When I was a child, polio was a major killer of children. And then somebody discovered, Jonas Salk discovered the vaccine. And then it was no longer impossible. So technological changes are often very easy to see. Even social changes are a little different. You know, when Nelson Mandela had a vision, let's go back to Gandhi. When Gandhi had a vision of how he wanted the people of India to be free, he clung to that vision. Gandhi used to say, at first, they laugh at you when you share your vision. And I know you all have experienced it. When you tell the wrong people what you want to be doing half, they can blow up your bubble. And he said, after they laugh at you, they then fight you. And think about all the people around you who tell you can't do it. Boy, I've seen you do this. Every time I see you, something new. He said, but then you win. When we start to apply this on this practical level, when we begin to see it from a very, very fundamental level, then we can say this, that from this moment forth, we will, number one, let hope come into our lives. And hope is that attitude, that consciousness that there's always something better, that there's always a solution. You see, nothing impossible is a mindset. And have that mindset that there's nothing but good things there for you. On a practical level, to start to dream bigger. You see, one of the things that undermine us is sometimes our dreams are too small to accommodate our lives. So begin to dream bigger, and then let the dream suck you in and make you work harder. When you dream the impossible dream and you work at it, it manifests. That you persist. You see, one of the keys about nothing is impossible is that you do it until you get it. Someone says, it ain't over until you get what you want. So somebody say, but I haven't gotten what I wanted. Well, then it's not over. J.K. Rowling, probably the, the wealthiest author, when she did her Harry Potter books, 12 publishers turned her down. She was a single mom struggling. People were loaning her money. but she let her vision keep her going. Even Mark Victor Hansen with the chicken soup for the souls. Many of you don't realize he was turned down by 144 publishers. I didn't know there were 144 publishers in the world. But he was turned down by people we'd never heard of. But yet, he persisted. And so the difference between possible and impossible is just keep trying until it is. So this day, as we face the end of this year, let us make this total commitment to operate from a perspective of hope, to know as the prodigal son that in my Father's house there's food enough and more. In my source, the place from which I come, the consciousness from which I was created, there's joy, there's abundance, there's everything I need, anything I want, anything I desire to become. 2, let's work on our vision. Maybe we're not being successful because our vision is too small. Let's create a vision that's so big that it not only scares us, it sucks us in. And create that vision in such detail and such clarity that you can smell it, you can taste it, you can feel it. Let's have absolute faith. Be able to operate where there's no evidence that you will succeed, but yet you throw another blow. To operate in faith, knowing that you will be victorious, that whatever you want will manifest. And then to be committed to take action. And when I say action, I mean take action each and every day. I mean take daily action based on consistency rather than intensity. The things that you can do each and every day over and over and over are the things that will transform your life. The Grand Canyon was not created by a big chisel, God clapping on the earth. It was created over millions of years by water, consistently flowing in one direction. And so when you can do these things, when you can have hope that there's always something good for you out there, when you have vision of exactly what you want your life to be, to do, to have, when you have faith that you can get it done no matter what, and when you work and work and work until it's done, nothing is impossible. You can be what you want to be. You can do what you want to do. You can have anything you desire, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is. Thank you so much for being with us today. Those on Zoom, just hang tight. I'm looking forward to your commentary and your sharing. Our mastermind group is ready. On Instagram, thanks for joining us. On Facebook, thanks for joining us. Be sure to visit our website, herbertharris.com. Get a copy of our book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success, and schedule a success consultation. Let's see if we can help you be, do, and have anything you desire. Always knowing that the best is yet to come. So it is.